So I did a video the other day of how to remove this after it's already been applied, and it had the epoxy method on it. So this is a cup I'm going to repurpose. I didn't make this cup, but I need to redo some things on it. So I'm just going to strip it. This actually has, you can kind of see it. See that band right there? That's like what you see pre-powder coated. I'm pretty sure this is a Walmart cup. But it's pre-powder coated. So the person that made this just kind of roughed that up probably and did that. So actually I already started doing it, and then I decided to record just to show another method, since that does have a different base than my other video. So I have my mask on already because I was heating up this epoxy, just because I don't care to have another reaction. So I'm going to heat this back up right here. I started cutting it right here. I know it's going to be a little bit more difficult here around the top rim because it doesn't have that powder coat already as the base. So I'm just going to heat this up and continue cutting all the way down. It's pretty thick, but I just want to kind of show another base option. So I'm just getting this really, really toasty. It softens that up quite a bit. I don't know what brand of epoxy this is. I'm sure some of them have a much higher heat tolerance as far as this goes. I know I mentioned that in one video, and somebody said that's because some countertop epoxies are rated much higher. So it's possible that this one is a higher rating, but it seems to be working just as good as my other one did. So I'm just going to continue right there in my cut that I already started. And I'm just going all the way down to the metal. I'm just going to trace it down again. It's pretty toasty. Be really, really careful when you're working with these blades because they hurt. I've heard some horror stories, and I don't want to become one of them. For sure. It's just really thick right there, so I wanted to make sure and get all the way through on that part. I'll heat that part up again. I started right around in here just now. I'll heat up this top. Just get it a little softer. I'm pretty sure I'm good all the way down, but just that one spot. When you use your heat gun, make sure that you don't set it down on a surface that can be melted. I did that the other day. Luckily, it wasn't anything important. But I definitely got a kick out of it, since I say that every time, and then I really didn't pay attention to what I was doing. Okay, so maybe that was actually Mod Podge method. So I'm going to use my handy dandy spatula. I love this thing for practically everything. I'm just going to get a good lift on it really quickly. I know there's a couple of different methods. Some people have even talked about how they soak it in hot water, and it just kind of comes off in a sheet. But this is going to be bonded too well. So I'll end up spraying that with like citrus strip or something like that. But that's just another way. So if you're one of those people, actually this cup wasn't even prepped. Like I said, I didn't make it, so I wasn't 100% certain what I was about to find. But this is what it looks like when you do this on one of these powder coated cups. Let's go ahead and lift that up. I think if I warm this up kind of all the way around, it might be helpful too. I'll get that cup off. This is very sharp. You wouldn't think it'd be very sharp, but it's like hard plastic right there. Ooh, I'm so sorry, that was very loud. yeah, so I think I'm just going to heat this up a little bit all the way around and come right off. Just enough to kind of soften it up. That's really all it means. The other one I did in that video, I ended up getting the rest of it off with, I've got it soaking in, or wrapped up in citrus strip right now. Just to kind of get the rest of it off, because I had applied that glitter with epoxy method. And so, it didn't peel quite off, or peel off quite as smoothly. Yeah, that's one way to do it. This cup was also made without the bottom being decorated. That didn't really bother me because I don't look at the bottom. But that should be pretty easy to get off as well. I'm not getting super duper hot because I really don't care to burn myself. But just enough to kind of soften that up. I'll peel it right off. Yep. Holy cow, that was really easy. I love this thing. It's like using it like a blade, only not a blade. But you can kind of tell how that cup was prepped. It shouldn't have come off quite that easy since it had that base like that. But because this wasn't sanded, it didn't really have as good of a bond. So now, honestly, if I want, I can just tape the rim right there. It's not super scratched up because it wasn't sanded beforehand. I really just have that one spot right there, which fits my own cup, which this was. That won't really bother me. But honestly, if I wanted to, I could just sand this up, kind of rough it up. Kind of see, you get that powder kind of scratched up. Could just use it like it is. But I really don't care to tape my rims. I like it to go all the way up, except for on fabric cups. Then my glitter goes up, but my other doesn't. So that's it. Less than 8 minutes, and it is completely clean if you've got a powder coated base that you're working on. So anyways, I'll go spray this with citrus strip and get the rest of that off of there, and then I'll use it for my next cup. I've got a couple of designs I've been wanting to do for myself. I'm waiting on some glitters to come in to do a rainbow geode. Kind of digging the rainbows right now. It's just kind of a happy color combo. So hopefully that's helpful in some way or another. If you have any cups that you need to strip in that method or with that base. And then it just kind of hardened right back up. A little soft, is still warm, but this one is really, really hard. I'm not going to try and pop it. It'll be very, very loud. So, anyways, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm trying to be pretty good at answering those comments, questions. If you have suggestions, let me know. There's a community tab that you can go and comment on a more recent post about asking if you want YouTube tutorials in conjunction with blog post tutorials. So that's it. We'll see you for the next one. Thanks.